Hola amigos y amigas from a suburb of Detroit in the living room of my home. I'll be back in Mexico soon, but when I get back, I'll be renting. I'll still be a renter, and I'll tell you more about that in another video. I did decide not to buy a home in Mexico. I am in a position to keep this home here. I had put up a video about a month ago. I'll probably replay it. I'm in a position to keep this home here and also buy a home in Mexico and the Lake Chapala area, but I decided not to. For those who haven't seen that video, I'll re-upload it. Now, I've been going back and forth to the Lake Chapala area since 2019, have this channel since 2021, 4.5 years in the Lake Chapala area, and really enjoy the area. Now, the places where I looked at buying a home, I looked at two homes. One was in Chapala, great location, and another place in Jacotepec. But I did decide after thinking about it for a while, since I'm not married, I'm not going to buy a home. And that's because if I bought a home, say if I got married or when I got married, the wife decided that she wanted to move to, say, another Lake Chapala town or another region in Mexico, I would have to go through the process of selling that home and then buying another home. And I'll put up that video. So I'm going to rent for the time being. It's a great place. Mexico is a great place to live, go to, and I love Mexico. But I want to tell you also about, you're going to see a lot of things on social media channels from different regions of Mexico. I watch either a lot of YouTube videos or social media channels that have to do with Mexico, not only the Lake Chapala area, but also different parts of Mexico and other parts of the world. Now, I have seen YouTubers make some really nice videos talking about rentals and where they actually live. Really nice videos, and I enjoy those too. But I also enjoy the videos where people actually, YouTubers or people, even people in interviews, whether they're in an interview or they're on a YouTube channel and they say, hey, I bought a home. And many of them make great decisions and purchase homes in Mexico. Now, I was always a renter since I first came to Mexico. I could call the places my home. I felt that they were my home, although I didn't call them my home. I would call them condos or apartments or whatever, or wherever I was living. But it's really fine that if you're a renter, you're going down there, no matter how small a place you're living in, or even a larger place, mid-sized place, being a renter, you can always say, this is my home. And I have heard many people refer to their rental properties, the ones they're renting, as their homes. And there are some nice rentals there too. Now, I know quite a few young people in the Lake Chapala area, or I'm aware of young people in the Lake Chapala area and other parts of Mexico. And what you're going to hear in some videos, people are going to say, well, this is my home. You'll hear it from people who are retirees or younger people. This is my home. And in actuality, in many cases, they're renters, and that's fine. And I think that's a good thing about renting when you go to Mexico, because when you go down there, you can actually feel like it's your home. Not necessarily always can you feel like that in the United States. But going down to Mexico, you can feel this is my home, and you'll really like it there. But you will find social media channels that will talk about their apartments that they live in or the homes that they live in. Now, if you're watching any channels, I don't care what part of Mexico, what region of Mexico, I want you to realize that sometimes people will refer to their homes on social media channels when they actually are renting them. So they might not actually own the homes that you're talking about, whether it's some type of interview you're going to hear. But most of the time, I have heard people refer to, this is a home that I bought. This is the way I went about purchasing this home. I looked for homes. I've been going out, running around, looking for different homes until I actually found this property. They will tell you the process that they went through when buying a home. I hear a lot about the dream, a certain type of dream, and you can find your dream home even as a renter. Now, I've been hearing this term quite a bit in the last couple years on some channels coming out of Mexico, and they refer to things as their home, their dream home, and most likely they very well could be renting. So if you really want to know whether those people are renting or they actually purchased the place, the home, the dwelling, or the property that they're making videos from, they usually are very forthright, and they'll make videos telling you, once again, how they purchased the home personally, the steps they personally went through to buy a home, and that's a wonderful thing to see. But it is okay. You hear things, and because I sometimes can get confused when I hear people say, in one video, they rented, and then you catch up in another video, and then they say it's their home, and I can get confused. But one way I don't get confused, and usually it's because they don't put up videos to say that they actually went through the process and tell you how they personally went through the process of getting a home. Now, if you want to, there are YouTube channels or other channels or interviews. There's a lot of interviews with people who have went through the process of personally buying a home. You can find those on many YouTube channels. I know there's one guy in another part of Mexico. He's also a renter. He's a renter, and he hasn't bought the home. He's renting, but he says this is his home, and he's in another region of Mexico. But no matter where you're watching videos from, whether it's from the Lake Chapala area or region or other regions of Mexico, if you want to know whether a YouTuber owns a home, they'll usually put up a video, usually, in most cases, a video telling you how they personally bought that home. Now, are there young people who own homes in the Lake Chapala area? Most definitely. There are quite a few, and I do personally know people, young people who have bought homes, and then there's a couple. I don't personally know them. I can't say I'm very familiar with them or anything like that. They are a young couple. They have bought a home there in the Lake Chapala area a few years ago. I believe they're in their 30s. So they are actually the only young couple that I'm aware of that came down to Mexico, married couple, that young, and have bought a home in Mexico. So that's only one couple that I know of, and they own a home in the Lake Chapala area, I think for 2 or 3 years already, and they've been down there for a while, if I'm not mistaken. Now, another thing that I want to mention is there are a lot of young expats, and a lot of them are living in homes, and sometimes they'll rent in apartments, and they'll call them their homes. Now, one other thing, if they're living in apartments, their parents are down there, and their parents own homes, either in fractamentos, and they gain chances at possibly inheriting those homes if their parents go back to the States, Canada, or Europe. So young people are going down there. There will be more homeowners that are young. You'll find them down there, and I do know quite a few. I know a young lady, she is probably close to 50 now. She looks relatively young. Her and her sister collectively both own a home in Chula Vista. Now, I remember she told me that the parents died. I don't know what they did with the home, whether they moved into it or sold it. I met another lady in Ahihique. She owned a beautiful home in West Ahihique. She was in her 40s. I know another guy, he's about 40. He lives with his mother. They both bought a home in the Lake Chapala area, one of the Lake Chapala towns. And I'm assuming that if his mother decides to go back to Europe, he will own that home and he will be moving into that home alone. Or if he gets married, he'll have a spouse or a home to bring his spouse to. So there are young people who are buying homes, actually buying homes. If you see any social media videos, you'll want to know whether they rent from either the Lake Chapala area or other regions in Mexico. Some people will refer to their condo rentals, no matter how big or small. Different people, whether they're younger people, whether they're retired people, they'll refer to them as their homes. And I think that's a wonderful thing because, as I mentioned before, renters often up in the U.S. don't always feel that the places that they rent are actually their homes. So they don't feel always as much at home as they would in Mexico or the Lake Chapala area. It's a wonderful place. And let me think if I didn't mention already, yes, there is a younger couple in their 30s. They've been there for a few years, a married couple, and they bought a home 2 or 3 years ago. I'm not exactly sure. So with that, I want to say that no matter what age you are, if you're in a position to buy a home or take over a home, you most certainly can do so. And there are a lot of people, a trend that's been coming along, moving to the Lake Chapala area. I've seen more and more and more young people coming there or going there since 2019. I remember there weren't very many, not nearly as many young people moving to the Lake Chapala area as there are now. Now, I keep in touch with a lot of my friends. I do still watch a lot of local channels from the Lake Chapala area and other regions of Mexico and other countries abroad or from Europe and different parts of the world, and enjoy those videos too. So watch YouTube videos. I encourage people to watch YouTube videos, but once again, backtrack through the videos. You'll see that sometimes information can change. If you're watching a YouTube channel, you might have heard a video and you might not have seen it, went to that channel for a while, and you might get new information as you move along through a YouTube video. So what you hear in one video may not always be what is actually going on in another video. Say 2 months from now, things could be subject to change or things could be different. So it's always good to go through social media channels, look at some of their videos and find out where they're what they're about, more about what they're personally about, whether they're renters or homeowners. And you'll find out that many of them, whether they're renters or actual homeowners, they'll refer to wherever they're staying as their home. You're going to meet expats down there. A lot of older expats in the area, they'll refer to their rentals properties, no matter how small or big, they'll refer to them as their homes. So those who actually haven't bought homes, but there are people down there, and they do go down there, and then they might rent for a while and then make that decision to go ahead and purchase a home. And I met quite a few people who have, and they're pretty happy in the Lake Chapala area. So with that, tap on the notification bell. You'll be notified of upcoming videos. Thanks for viewing. Adios, amigos.